Hey guys, welcome back to the Haunted Estate. You are going to absolutely love this episode. I'm over the moon about it. Kallmekris came on, Kallmekris, the legend from TikTok, one of my best friends. I am so honored that she's my friend, and we talked everything. Ghost stories, horror games, life, and everything in between. So hold on to your seats because this is one you're not going to want to miss.
Welcome to the Haunted Estate.
Hi guys, welcome to the Haunted Estate, or welcome back to the Haunted Estate. It's me, Selena Myers, aka Selena Spooky Boo from TikTok, and the Haunted Estate is here for you. Are you the kind of person who drives by and looks at that car accident even though you don't want to? Then you are in the perfect place. I need to start by saying, holy shit. Thank you so much. I didn't know what was going to happen when this podcast released, but you guys blew it up. We were number 2 in comedy in Canada, number 5 at a point overall, all shows in Canada. In America, we hit like 29 out of all shows and like number 6 in comedy. And that is bonkers. That is bonkers. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. I don't know. I never thought that like spooky podcast jumped up there. Made my week. I've been so happy. I love creating this kind of stuff for you guys. The fact that you want to listen to me, you want to hear the people that I want to talk to blows my mind. And I promise you guys that this will always be the coolest show that you can tune into with the coolest cats around the internet and the darkest cats. I had a weird moment. I hit 20 million today. It is Sunday. I hit 20 million followers. That blows my mind. I had this moment. I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? How did this all start? And then I thought about it. You know how this all started, guys? I talked about a fart rolling into my front butt, and then coaxing it out of my hole. So we started from the cooter, now we're here. It's the craziest thing to say, but it's true. Here's the thing. I don't know what it is. I feel so good, the fact that I am this chunky weirdo with an insane life story who has hit so many roadblocks along the way, and I feel like, hey ma, I made it, and I want you guys to know that you guys can make it too, no matter where you are in your life. To get where I am, I just took a baby step every single day, and you guys can do that too. But today we are having an amazing guest. I hope you're excited. If you read the title, then you know Kallmekris is here. Now I need to be honest, Kallmekris and I have been talking for months. Christina, and I have to say before we start, she is genuinely the nicest, kindest person I've ever met, and I have never met anyone who works harder than her. I feel blessed that we talk like every day, and honored, let me just like brag about that. But no, honestly, we met in person a few weeks ago. The COVID's finally lifted a bit here, all of our restrictions, and she was actually filming something in Toronto, so I was able to visit with her for a few days, and yes, she is nicer, she is kinder, and she's even prettier in person. And it just felt nice just to be around her energy. So guys, thank you so much for 20 million. Thank you for blowing this podcast off the charts. And don't forget, if you ever have a show suggestion, want to tell a crazy story about your life, ghosts or not, maybe even share a secret, I don't know, head over to thehauntedestate.com. Also, if you really love me, please rate and review this podcast because that keeps us high in the charts, and that would mean a lot to me. Anyways, guys, it's time to jump into Chris. She's here, she's waiting, and I'm excited to talk about spooky stuff. See you in a second. Hi guys, welcome back. We are with Kallmekris from TikTok, the legend herself. She's at 32.3 million followers. Am I right there?
You're right.
That is insane. That number is astronomical. She's been on TikTok for literally just over a year, and she has exploded and kept everybody laughing in Canada. Welcome.
Thank you. I love that word, exploded. That's
exploded.
Nice.
And I had to throw astronomical.
20 million. 20 million you're at.
Yeah, like, if you guys didn't know, we're literally the leading ladies of Canada at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah. That's right. Representing.
There is something to say. It is pretty cool to be like the 2 top in Canada are both girls, which feels pretty cool too, right?
It is pretty cool. Yeah,
and we're not Charlie. Like, we don't dance. Like, love Charlie, but like it's weird. In America, the top are like the dancey cutesy. In Canada, we're like we like to laugh.
Crazy, 2 crazy bitches. Don't know if I could say that, but
oh fuck yeah! You drop all the fucking words you want.
Okay,
crazy bitches, hoes and slices, pepperonis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Okay, so I have to ask, of course, general question.
Yeah.
We're both here. We're both TikTokers. What got you started? I need to know.
The pandemic.
Yeah.
I didn't get laid off. I was working for myself as a hairdresser, and then and then I couldn't work anymore, and then I just decided to make videos for fun.
Yeah.
And now we're here. That's a short story.
And now we're here. Yeah, if you guys, I talk to Chris a lot. I feel really lucky.
Yeah.
I finally got to meet Chris in real life. I talked about it a little bit
Yes.
earlier, but like that was wild. And you guys, you won't believe it. The very first time we meet, I went with Shane Wally. We were in Toronto. Chris was doing her thing. We go upstairs to meet her. She's like, "Come on up," gives us our room number. We knock on the door. We're in full poses, like Charlie Angel poses, and she just runs up from behind us to scare the crap out of us, which was just, it was hilarious. But tell them what happened.
Wait, what happened?
Your room key.
Oh, I forgot about. Yeah, so I was in my socks. And I didn't have, and I was so amped that they were coming up to my room. So I like ran out of my room, no room key, no socks, no shoes. And then I was like, haha, we met each other. And I was like, let's go in my room. And then I was like, oh, we can't get in my room. So we had to go out to the lobby, and I looked like a hobo, but it's fine. You know
what? That was one of those real people moments. We had like that huge magical moment of like meeting each other. And then we got brought right back down to earth. We're like, let's go get our room key and our socks.
Yeah, it was a reality TV moment for sure.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Toronto while you were here?
I did. Yeah. It was just like, it was different because in BC, it's just, I don't know. It's more like mountainous.
It's hilly and beautiful.
Yes.
Toronto smells like diarrhea.
You know, I wouldn't go that far, but like I need to explore it more because I was only there for 3 days. I really only went in my hotel room and like ordered Uber Eats. So
I
can't
COVID was still so strong. We couldn't go in restaurants. You couldn't go like in stores.
No.
It was that was.
But loved traveling around Canada. So I'll go back and I'll visit and I'll
do the fun things, do the activities. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls, Canada?
No, I haven't, which I would have liked to have done when I was there. So I'll have to go back and do that.
Please come to a haunted hotel with me in Niagara Falls.
100%. Even though my boyfriend doesn't want me to because he's scared of the ghosties, I was like, I'm not gonna bring a demon back, okay? I promise. So
could you imagine, like, guess what your souvenir is from Niagara Falls? Right. Captain Swayze's in my suitcase. That would be bananas.
Oh my god, it would be.
But like,
so good.
think of the YouTube video if you're like, guess who got haunted in Niagara Falls?
Right?
By the way, congratulations on hitting 2 million on YouTube. That is
Thank you.
Amazing. Guys, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I've never met anyone who works harder than Chris does. Like, we talk and there is not a moment where she's not like boom, 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 boom. So like out there in the world, like I feel like so many people create amazing content, but if there's someone who deserves to be where she is, it is Chris, because she goes ham. Like, never stops.
Oh, stop.
You don't sleep though, do you?
I mean, no, I don't. But we're the same. Selena's the exact same. We both don't sleep, and we both work our booties off. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm like you, where we have this like guilt when we don't work. We're like, I'm sitting on the couch. I should be doing something like.
Well, we got this family. We can't let down. We're like, if I don't post, I'm gonna get those Instagram messages, and they'll be like, "Where you at?"
Yeah, exactly. It's all about like not letting people down. But honestly, we probably could take time off, and people probably wouldn't care that much. It's
right.
Just us.
I love it. Like, I love it. Some people are so close, but there's also those other kind of people. Like, I got this comment on my 20 million video, and it was like, congratulations on hitting 20 million. You're only here because you faked sleepwalking once. And it blew my mind, because I'm like, and people liked it. And I was like, I had 8 million before I even sleptwalk. I've literally posted 10 sleepwalking videos over like 1,500 videos. And that's where you guys are at. But you know what? It's okay, because the OGs know, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you're always going to have those people that just are, they thrive off of making people miserable, or they're jealous or whatever. And it's just, I know it's hard to read those though. And you're like they don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Like, I see how hard you work and what you put into those. Like, I know how long those videos took you to edit too, with like your sleepwalking stuff. So it's just like, how do you caption?
You caption so well. Your captions are lined up perfect. I am so jealous. I watched them and I'm just like, dude.
That is all I want on TikTok is that caption feature that they have in the States, because it takes me forever. Like the video I posted today, I did like a minute long monologue, and I was like just ranting so fast, and it took me like well over an hour to caption because I wanted to get like every word right, because I want like hearing impaired people to be able to like read it properly. I don't want to like half-ass it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's still worth it. I don't want to exclude like an entire group of people.
Absolutely.
Just because I'm lazy.
I'll forget one every once in a while, and I feel so bad. And the top comment, I'm like, I will take it down and I will fix it.
Me too.
No.
Me too.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I'm so excited you're on the Haunted Estate, so I'm going to segue us into Spooky Town. So the podcast, I want to do spooky stuff. I want to talk about dark stuff. Like, it's not going to all be creepy, spooky stuff, but I feel like today is a day to be creepy. So I have to start, and I have to ask, when it comes to ghosts, what do you like believe? Some people believe in ghosts, some people some people have seen some shit. Other people have heard other people's stories. Do you believe in ghosts, Chris?
I didn't. I'll start with that. I didn't at all, because I grew up in a very, Christian conservative household, and it wasn't really like a thing. But then I had my own experiences, and I've done my own research and done all this stuff, and I like fully believe in that like middle ground ghosty world. Like
it's weird. Like
creepy.
As you grow older, like when you're a kid, you believe in this cartoony, scary way, but then the things that you learn and the things you see, like I don't really know anyone who's like under, like over 20 that hasn't heard some kind of story that they believe at this point.
Right? I know. And it's like, if you do, and I'm kind of in this, I watched your other podcast and yours. Where did you guys talk about like what you believe in and all that kind of stuff, like God and all that kind of stuff? I can't remember.
Yeah, I've talked about the fact where I was kind of like, I subscribe to something. Like there has to be, after the things I've seen, I don't know what. I'm not going to go out there and be like 100% God and 100% like devil. I'm like, there has to be, for what I've seen, there has to be something. Right?
Exactly. And I was watching it and I was like, that is me. And like, maybe there's but with the stuff I've experienced and all this other stuff, I know there's something. And if you believe in this one thing, then there has to be this other thing. Like if you believe in evil stuff, if you believe in ghosts and all that, like there's gotta be something else. So
right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so much to think about.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I know. I was always that kid in Sunday school. I was just like, but why? Like how was he building that big ass boat by himself? I don't really understand.
Right.
That. Like,
there's some supernatural forces behind that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Just believe. I have questions.
I have so many questions. Okay, so I have to ask, what you said you had a couple experiences. I need to hear about them ghosts.
Yeah. So the first one was when I was it's about like 11 or 12, and I lived in the basement suite of our old house, my old family house, with my sister. And it was just one day where I saw this figure. It wasn't necessarily like a girl at this point. It ended up being like a girl, but it was just like this like kind of white, like opaque kind of figure in the forest. And I just thought it was like, I don't even know what I thought it was. But anyway, I like saw it very clearly, and I was home with my sister. I think she was upstairs. And then I went outside to go see it because I was like, what is that? So I went outside and I looked at it and I went to go to the door and I went back and it was completely gone. So I was like, my first thing, and I was like, okay. And then like, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a couple months, I can't remember, went by. And it just kept getting closer, like in different spots in the backyard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And I never really looked into it. And I ended up seeing, it was almost like a little girl. Like it wasn't like an adult. It might've been like a younger teen, kind of like my age or younger. And it scared the shit out of me. Like I had nightmares about it all the time. And I told my sister about it. She didn't believe me at all. And I was like, okay. And then we ended up moving. So that was like my first thing. And I remember it so incredibly vividly. And then my second one was that my high school is absolutely haunted. Like without a doubt, everybody knows it. There was a bus crash. I can't remember what year, but majority of them died, like the basketball team.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they came back. That school made a ring and they were back.
Yeah. So
Oh.
like the janitors always would like tell us kids like we hear like they hear basketballs in the gym all the time, like when they're cleaning, like all the doors will be locked and they'll hear the basketballs bouncing and then they'll go into there and like there's nothing happening. And like at me at this point, I had that one experience, but I was like, maybe I was just like off my rocker. I don't know. And then we did these like leadership events where we'd stay overnight at school. And I think it was the Halloween one where we made the whole school like a haunted house, except for the gym. The gym we locked and closed and all that kind of stuff because it's just like such a big space. And the night was over. It was like 10, 11 o'clock. And we were cleaning up. And there was only 5 of us, along with one teacher that was in like their classroom across. So it was so fucking scary.
Oh no.
I don't think it wasn't and I'm sure you had lots of experiences, but like I feel like you can sense when it's like evil or bad or if it's good.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't bad. Like it was so what I saw was the hallways were really dark. And there, like I said, there was 5 of us. And I was at one end of the hallway taking down some stuff here. And I looked over and there was somebody, it was way too dark, but there was somebody down under the hallway and I was calling them over and they just stood there and I was like, I yelled one of the people's names that I thought it was because it was a guy. It was very clearly a guy. And then I called him and then he sprinted this way and I was like, motherfucker. So I went and chased him. I thought he was trying to scare me, right?
Yeah.
And there's a dead end at the hallway where he ran. So I see him, I run over there and I see him run here and there's a little behind the staircase here. And I was like, and I get there and he's not there. And I was like, when I froze, so like I'm getting chills talking about it, but like
I feel sick. You want to barf, like all the air.
I was like, back to the classroom, all the way across the school.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there is a door there to go to the outside, but it's locked because we locked all the doors. So I was like looking outside and I was like, there's no way. Like he didn't go over there. He went this way. So I went back to the classroom and everybody was there. Like everybody was still there. Like I was the 5th person, so 4
there
people and the
no
teacher were there.
feeling like
and
that.
I was like, what if you guys were there, right? What are and they're just like, no, like shut up, like. And I was just like, but I saw you. So yeah, those are my 2 experiences, and I never did another overnight thing at the school again because I was like, absolutely fucking not.
It's crazy because no matter how many times you see things or something, there is no feeling like that feeling when in your head it clicks that there's no explanation. There's no logical, earthly explanation, and you're like,
right?
You feel like you're gonna barf.
That was the one where I'm like, oh, I knew that happened. Like I watched him. I was like, you motherfucker, come over here. And then he ran away and I was like, ha 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 ha. And then I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, it was terrifying. And I think I only told just the people in that room and like my sister about
it's
it
like,
or whatever.
Gotta go, going home, my dudes. There's a ghost up in here.
I'm done.
So do you think it was one of those really basketball players maybe? If it was like a dude and he was running really fast?
That's the only thing that like connected because I had already heard about the stories and stuff, and I was actually really close to one of the janitors at the school, and I asked him about it. I was like, so you like, you're not joking about those basketballs that you hear and like the people that you see in the hallways and stuff? He's like, no, absolutely not. And I was like, okay.
So when you called at him and he was at the end, did he like look at you and he was like, whoa, she saw me, I'm out?
It was like a figure standing just like this. And I was just calling them over and then it like ran this way. It was super bizarre. It was super bizarre. And
how old were you then?
I would have been 16, 17, okay. 16.
And then your other one, how old were you for the first one?
Like 11.
Okay, because there's this weird 12. Connection that it seems like women, for some reason, when it comes to like paranormal and stuff like that, puberty has this massive tie. So like when you're in these formative years, it's just like going through menopause.
That's when I got my period too, when I first saw that ghost.
Whoa, maybe it was like the womanness coming to you before you blossom.
I believe, and I was talking to my mom about this earlier today, I fully believe there's people that have like like intuition. Like there's certain levels of intuition. Like I knew when the night my grandma died, I told my mom, I was like my grandma passed away. I told her, and then we got the phone call like minutes after. It was so bizarre, like to the point where my family's like kind of scared of me. And
No, I love that. And you know what? We've talked about this before. Chris and I have lived eerily the same life in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
And I was like that, the three things you just said, I'm going to quickly say three things of three experiences that I've had. Because first, I don't know what it is about forests, but whenever you hear about there's always haunted forests, there's always like, what is going on in forests? Like, is it the energy of nature? Is there dead people out there? But I know when I was 16 years old, I was down in the forest. I was walking. I was just hanging out. I got tapped on the shoulder by a guy. He says, hey, how do I get to Innerkit Bridge? Which was a bridge you go through the forest and you get to it. So he kept tapping me, and it was weird because like for me this was an actual dude. Like this wasn't a spirit. It was daytime. Like this was no inkling that this wasn't like as solid as you or me. And he kept knocking, and eventually I turned around and he's like, where's Innerkit Bridge? And I blinked, and in the second that I blinked, he was gone. So I had gone to one of my high school teachers, right? I went to my high school teacher. I'd explained to him. He was very much into this stuff. He did some research. He brings up a photo, shows me the photo. It was a guy. He was headed to his friends through there. He ended up taking his life in the woods, but he was wearing the same AC/DC t-shirt, the same whitewashed jeans in the picture, which was like 2 days before he had passed away, which blew my mind. So then when it was school, I never really had much happen in high school, but when I went to college, I moved in. Everyone had been there, but they were away on break. So I moved in January, and this is when I went for police foundations. And I had put my blanket on my bed, laid everything out, had the room real nice, went and had a shower, came back, blanket was off the bed. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. Maybe the roommates are here, they're playing a joke. I put it back on. I don't know where I went. Came back, the blanket was off again. And I remember researching, and I literally found an article that said, yes, this boy died in the stairway across from this room. And that was my room. So I don't know if that was a ghost, but it was one of those kind of strange, strange moments. And then the grandma one, that blew my mind because my grandma died of pancreatic cancer. She was in the hospital, and I was 16 again, and I had this horrible feeling, and I called my mom and I was like, hey, how's grandma? And she's like, you know what? She has like the death rattle. I don't think things are going really well. Like you shouldn't come up. But I was with my boyfriend and I was convinced I needed to go up. I didn't want to see her die, but I had this overwhelming feeling of like, I just was supposed to be there. So very strange. I went in, my parents passed, and when I went into her room, she wasn't breathing like that crazy kind of like rattle, and I just started brushing her hair, and I realized like she had passed like in that moment. So I went and called my mom. The nurse was like, go ahead, call your mom. I called her, and when I turned around, two people walked by me, but I didn't catch them. It was like as I turned, they went by, and I turned around, and I was kind of like, okay, something's weird. They were a different kind of color. Like they almost looked like they were in vintage color. Like, you know, when photos first came into color before they were colorful, but they were like this sepia.
Like
and
sepia,
like they opened up the door, which would have gone to the stairs, but it looked like it was going outside. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. So I go there and I open it, and it's not light. It is the stairway. And then it kind of like played to me, and I knew what it was. It was my grandma. It was my grandpa. Because the last thing that she said before she like kind of went in her coma, she was like, she was talking to her husband who had been dead for like 16 years, 17 years. And I literally, in that moment, it was so quick, it was so fast that I know it was my grandpa, and he had walked with her out of that hospital. And it was like, but I had that feeling like you, like I knew it was time. Do you know what I mean?
It was so bizarre. And like, it was the same thing. It was like, we knew she was going to pass to his leukemia, but it wasn't like, tonight's tonight. You know, it was just like that feeling. And then my family experiences, my grandma moves dimes for us all the time. Like anytime, like genuine, like my mom, she's not really into the ghost thing, all this stuff, but she is so like, for example, I just gave my sister my car, whatever. I spent 4 hours cleaning it. Spotless, like nothing in it, all this kind of stuff.
What a good sister.
Yeah, I know. Just like a subtle brag that I'm such a good sister. But and I gave the car to my sister, and we kind of had a moment because she gave her car here, I got a car. We did this thing where like everybody in the family we moved cars. Anyway, it was a really nice thing for our family. It was just good. We were all hanging out and all this stuff. And then Alyssa, and I had driven the car. I cleaned it a little bit there. There's nothing in the car. And then when Alyssa went in the car and I drove home, she's just like, did you leave a dime on the seat? And I was like, no.
I have goosebumps.
Like,
oh my gosh.
Absolutely not. Yeah, but this is like almost, I would say at least once or twice a week, my mom or my sisters or me will just find like dimes just in the most fucked up place, like in the fridge where her favorite snack was, or just so it is like, you
Beautiful.
can't not, like it is. Yeah, it's really nice. It's just like, oh, cool. Like she's hanging out, like she's around, or like
she's aware. She knows something's going on. Oh,
it's
those
crazy.
Stories touch my heart so much, because it's just like, it's just such a. It's like when people die, it's weird because they're there and then they're gone. And there's like it's just finished. And then to have these little tiny reminders of, it's like, you might not be able to see me, but like I'm here and I've got you. And I remember like having those conversations with my grandma when she first got sick, and I was like, I need to know like what comes next. Like if you can come back, please find a way to show me that like what's going to come after this. I need everything that's happened to me like validated. And you know, not after that day when I saw her walk out, I've never seen anything. But my grandmother, after my grandpa died, I don't mean to laugh, she was so sad that her husband died. And every day she cried, but she would always be like, I'm good. Like when she found out she was sick, she literally said to us, she's like, I've lived 84 years. I am at peace. I don't want to do treatment. I want to go be with my husband. And you know what? We respected that. It was hard, but it was like, she was so done here. There was no unfinished business.
No, and that's the same as it was for my grandpa, who my grandma died first, and then my grandpa just died last year. He had Alzheimer's, but he had Alzheimer's for almost 10 years. But he was he forgot stuff, obviously, but he's just the smartest man I ever knew. But he was just so miserable, especially when he had to go in the home for the last like year that he was alive. And he was just ready to go. Like we were all kind of at peace before he died, because he's like, I just want to be with Bernice. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, he loves us, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
especially since he has Alzheimer's. Like, I would rather have cancer than get Alzheimer's. Like, to see the smartest man I knew to go to like just being confused all the time. Like, I like, we
like think of the life we're living
you get
now.
To a point where you're like,
yeah.
And then
like,
you just forget everything every 30 seconds.
Like you live this life and then your body gives out and your mind gives out, and that's so hard, and it's so sad and so unfair, because like you put all you can into your family and your life and you fight. But I recently learned that like Robin Williams, we both love so much, rest in peace, Robin Williams. Yeah,
the Lewy body dementia.
Yeah, he had the dementia, and he also Parkinson's. And I was actually doing some research because like I wanted to bring him up in this, because just I feel like I've seen him so much. I feel like TikTok honors him in such beautiful ways all the time. But I found out a ghost story about him, and I wanted to tell you it. So
yes, please.
So the house that he lived in is apparently haunted now. I don't know if the family lives there. It sounds like it's more of a security company. Every couple hours, they come in to check the house. And I guess every couple hours when they come in, the TV is always on. And it's always on some kind of like show. So one day they went in, and it was a special from his friend Richard Pryor, who had died in 2005.
Oh, Richard Pryor. Yeah.
His comedy special is on all the time in the house, and the security guards have heard him laughing in the house. He's like moved little things, so it's not all the time, but like it sounds like it's like once a week or something like that. But that he's there, and he seems like he's having a good time,
chilling, just like laughing. Oh, that makes me so happy. I hope that is the case. Oh my gosh, I know, but I'm not. You know what? Not a lot of people know about the Lewy body dementia, or I think that's what it's called, or Parkinson's. Like people know that think that he committed suicide because of his depression, which was a factor.
Absolutely.
But he wasn't himself. By the end, he couldn't remember a single line for his movies. He wasn't himself. Like it reminded me a lot of my pops. Like he wanted to die because he was like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore, on top of being depressed. And it's just so sad, because he was just
it's such a huge,
quick as a whip.
It's such a huge conversation too, where people talk about it and they're like, can it be considered suicide at that kind of point? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, there's such an
Exactly.
argument there. Like, where's the rules? Where do we draw the line? Because if someone's not
Yeah.
who they are, like, my mom is very sick. And
Yeah.
it's been hard to watch over the years, you know, because it happened to her so young. Like, she first got sick when I was, like, a preteen. We've gone through these big moments of, like, because, you know, assisted suicide and stuff is becoming more of a legal thing.
Yeah.
And we go through these moments where she says to me, and she's just like, I don't think that I can like do this. And I respect it, and I used to fight it so hard. But I try to think of it from my perspective, and it's just like, I love her so much. She's done so much for our family, and it's just like, I see her struggle so hard. And unfortunately, there is no getting better. And at one point when there is no getting better, like, do we let them just suffer? You know?
Yeah, like that's the thing, right? Yeah, it's like we can't really put ourselves in their shoes.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. It's like, obviously it's loved ones, and you're just like, no, you'll be here forever. Thank you. Like,
and then it's like, oh, I'm selfish. Like, and then I feel,
yeah, you think they're selfish, but actually, like, we're being selfish because we don't know how they're suffering. And it's like, yeah, it's so hard. Like, yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. But it is like, when it comes to Robin Williams and stuff too, like, he, like, again, the depression thing, like, the funniest people are always the saddest. And I feel like, you know, we've both had our struggles and stuff like that. And, you know, I've, like, looked back at parts of my life, and I've just been like, man, I made it through that. That's wild.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. It builds up our trauma comedy. I don't really know. It's our traumedy.
Traumedy. Oh my God, you need that on his shirt, please.
I'm coining
please.
it.
Merch.
I'm coining it.
Do it. Do it right now. You need to put that on. Traumedy.
Darkest thing ever. But seriously, though, it's so true. Like, the funniest people I know, you included, are like, we've been through the roughest shit.
It's bonkers.
I don't know. It is.
Man.
It really is.
Like, I remember, did you ever know who Brody Stevens was? Did you ever hear about him?
No, I don't think so.
he talked a lot about it. He took his life a couple years ago now at this point, which blows my mind. And I loved listening to his podcast. He was so funny. He was really into baseball, and he talked so much about his struggles, like, so much. But then we found out, like, he finally, you know, completed suicide, which was really messed up. But in this world, they're so on, and then they're so off. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to be a certain person. You need to come at certain things with a certain kind of energy and a certain kind of personality. And, like, it is who I am. Like, I'm sure it's who you are. But we're also kind of different. Like, we have to be a little different in our personal lives. Do you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
Like, there's this, I don't know if you ever had this. Do you ever have, like, this silent moment when you're, like, done filming and you're just like, do you know that?
If you're talking about loneliness, yes.
You did that one TikTok, and it hit me so hard. Yeah, she did this TikTok where it's all her characters, and they're talking back and forth about, like, being in her head or kind of something like that, right? And then you're just sitting there, and you're just in this room alone.
I told them to stop talking because it's so loud, and then I say stop, and then it just, like, pans out to me just in the room by myself. I look like a psycho, but that's how it feels. That's how it feels sometimes. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes you're like, fuck yeah, like, that was a great video. But, like, sometimes you're like, okay, so. I've
literally watched that over and over again. And it's such goosebumps because it's just like, it's like when you go out in the world, we've talked about this before, you go out at home, you're yourself, with your family, yourself, and then you go into public, you get to meet people that follow you, and you get to see, like, the real people behind those numbers, and they come up and they want pictures and they want to do this stuff, and then you sit in your car and you're like, whoa, like, that was cool, but, like, whoa.
Totally.
No, that's the best thing ever.
It's bizarre. It's with COVID being over and stuff, it's so crazy to actually, like, meet people, because you're just like, you're just at home looking at the numbers on the screen and you're like, those aren't real. And then you meet them and
like,
like,
think of that, you're at 32 million. Like, 32 million, that's over 3/4 of Australia, that's over half of Canada. Like, that is an unbelievable number.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I know, it's so bizarre. I know, once everything starts, like everything's back to normal, it's just weird. It's weird because you just think you're a normal person at home just making stupid videos, and you go out and people are actually watching it, and you're like, oh.
Heck yeah, man.
I don't know. It's just so weird.
No.
It's great. I love meeting people.
No, it's my favorite part, and it's the different kinds of people. Like, you meet the moms, you meet the kids, you meet grandma
Yes.
who loves your moms.
Yeah.
Love me. Do moms love you?
Yes.
Everyone's
yes,
always like,
I
can
met
you
one today,
record?
actually.
Did you?
I almost love it even more when a mom comes up to me. Like, I love when kids or like teenagers come up to me, but when like a mom's just like, you've really been getting me through like having 4 kids, and like all of a sudden, like, I got you.
No, I love
it.
that. No, seriously,
Yeah.
like we talked about earlier, like I had this mom come up, she's like, thank you for being a good role model. I'm like, damn, I didn't know I was, but like, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, maybe I gotta like really watch what I say. Like,
I do. I definitely
'cause,
feel
I
more
forget.
responsible.
I'm like, I don't remember that like 13-year-olds are watching, or whatever, probably 10-year-olds. Like, I don't like, I keep it pretty clean, but like I add a little something in there for like the adults that the kids
Well,
won't
that's
do.
the thing. Like, your videos are so great because they can be enjoyed by any kind of age. Any age can understand, and like you sneak things in that can be certain people get. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like the younger
exactly,
people who maybe
exactly.
shouldn't get it, don't get it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, same goes for you. Yeah, it's good to like keep it broad, I think.
Exactly. So now I know you do a lot of it's Twitch, right? I've been in on one once. I tried it after you.
Yeah.
Okay. So she plays games on Twitch, and they're like horror games usually. I tried it one time. I'm not allowed on there. I'm literally just sitting there walking into the same wall repeatedly. I'm like, why doesn't it open? Why doesn't it open? I'm like, you need a
People
key.
love
You need to
watching
find
that,
the
though.
key. I
As
don't
long as
think they
you're
do.
commentating good. It's
Oh
fine.
no,
I'm not really
not.
that good.
I'm just swearing, and then he's like, you need a key, and I go to a drawer and I'm opening. I'm like, there's no fucking key. I'm just slamming. Like, if I hit it enough times, it's gonna open, right? So
We'll get there.
what games are your favorite? What should people play?
I love playing all the Resident Evils. I just streamed the most recent one, which is so fun, Village. And then I'll just play kind of whatever my audience wants me to play. Right now I'm playing We Happy Few, which is like a super messed up dystopia kind of game where like people are forced to take happy pills. But if they wear off, then you see what the world's actually like, and like this super decrepit, like falling apart world, and everybody's it's insane. But like people get really mad at you if you're not taking your happy pills, and like you gotta like sneak around. It's like messed up. It's like a thriller kind of game. And then and then Phasmophobia is one of my favorite just like pastime games. It's like it's a ghost hunting game. Like you go in with EMF readers and like temperature guns, and you try to find out like what kind of ghost it is, and it's really fun.
Is it easy?
Yeah, you can. There's like different levels. We're gonna play one day. I don't care what day. We're gonna play Phasmophobia together on easy, and you're gonna love it. It'll be great.
Can I walk into walls a bunch?
Uh-huh. You can't.
I loved it. Like, I feel like which one did I play, Adam? What was it called?
I'll get back to you in a second.
He'll get back to you in a second. But it was like a house, and I had to like walk, and it was like a horror movie. Pretty much it felt like it, but like I kept just like messing things up, and you jump. It's so weird. It's scarier than a movie because you're not just like watching it. Yeah, and I'm like in it, and then something happens, and I'm like, oh, I peed a little. What do I do here? No.
Yeah, and you get a little bit desensitized to it if you play it more. But I just got VR too, and you can play these horror games in VR.
So like
so much scarier. Yeah,
so
you're like in the house, like you're in the game.
Do you walk around like the room and do it, or like?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can like just draw like a circle around with your VR, and it just says like when you're outside or inside, so you're not like smacking walls or anything like that. It's
so.
It's
do you
too
get
much.
dizzy?
It's a lot.
Do you get dizzy?
Yeah, I do a little bit.
Okay.
You're not like spinning in circles and stuff, but like it's scary. Like you could go anywhere in VR. Like I was in like Brazil the other day, just like chilling with that like Jesus statue. I'm not sure what it is, but like you can be in VR for an ungodly amount of time and just forget your world, and then you come back to the world, and it's depressing.
It is. You come back, you're like, wow. You know what I realized the other day? Tell me if you experienced this. I was driving around downtown and I was looking, and I genuinely remember the world being more colorful. And this happening because of TikTok. People were showing it, and I'm like,
I seen that too.
When did everything get so dull?
Right? I know. And I don't know if it's because of like social media and we just saturate the fuck out of stuff, or like what it is, but it really does. Like unless you're in like places like Bali or like these really, I don't know, but I agree. And I don't know if that's a pollution thing, maybe. I don't really know.
Like, there's that. And then there's also the fact that, like, the days used to be so much longer. Like, did the days, like, remember coming home from school, it literally felt like a week before you had to go to bed. And I swear, I blink, it's 3, I blink, it's 9 p.m. And I'm like, okay, didn't get anything done today.
It's because we're old.
It's because we're old.
It's moving fast. Seriously though, it's awful. Like I felt like being 8 was like a century long, and I just turned, like I was 24 yesterday, and now I'm 25.
You're 25.
Oh,
I'm 27 forever.
Yeah, you are, and I'm also 24 forever. So
that's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. We're never gonna talk about it.
No, we don't. Yeah. Not at all. Stop. No. We're still there. Okay, so I a while ago I asked on Instagram, I said, send me some ghost stories. So I want to do this thing every time I have a guest on, I'm going to read 2 ghost stories, and then I would just like to hear what you think about it. Okay? Is that a plan?
Yep.
This came in from Eva. Okay.
Ooh.
So this is the first time. Okay, first time I was about 7 years old, and I used to see several shadow tall men in the hallway. I remember not being afraid because I always thought to myself, what is my uncle doing here so late? It was never threatening nor frightening, as it would behave like somebody interested in the art we had hanging on the walls. Then, when I was 14, my dad died. He was a good man, but due to being addicted to drugs, my mom left him when I was 3. We had a great bond anyways. At the 17th of December, 2000, it was about 7 p.m. when my mom got the phone call. I don't know how it started, but I felt this deep weight in my heart. My mom told me to take my 4-year-old brother outside to look for our cat who disappeared the day before. I took my phone and remember being in a panic. I tried to call my dad over and over with no response. When we got back, in like 15 minutes, my mom was freaking out, and that's when she told me. Then all I remember was not talking for a week. The following year, I could not walk my father's street, and I would walk a longer way just to avoid it. What I couldn't avoid was passing by his favorite coffee shop, where my mom and step-grandfather would be every day. I remember passing by the coffee shop and looking for Grandpa to have lunch with, and I saw my dad sitting in the same spot, his legs crossed as always, drawing something and smoking as always. Then I'd look back and he wouldn't be there anymore. Back then, I didn't tell this to anyone. I myself was a bit confused, thinking it was my imagination, until one of my dad's brothers asked me if they thought I was ready to go into my dad's house and pick out some stuff. I found the strength to go. I went through his things, and when we picked up his mattress, we found a journal he had kept. As I read it, I found out that my father had left me messages there, apologizing for not being able to get off drugs and failing me because he didn't want to see him wasted or hungover or looking for drugs. All I know is that after I read all those letters, I never saw him again. Until I have one more story. Okay, so I have a big story to my life, but after that, it ended well and only because of him. So that's kind of an interesting one. So when I read that, I'm kind of like, maybe she kept seeing him like drawing something because, wanted him to find the journal. But yeah, what do you think of that?
Yes, exactly that. Like that'd be so crazy. But just after clearly he wanted her to go and see that stuff, and then was like, okay, I'm good, I'm done.
That one, like, I have a lot of them and I read through them, and some of them are so short, but that was one of those ones where I read and I'm like, some of them obviously I believe everyone, but sometimes some stories are so fantastical.
Oh, for
you know
sure.
what I mean?
But that
I'm
was
like,
just so specific. Like, it's just like, wow, okay, that's not really personal. And just like you with your grandmother, they even knew that like knew when that phone call came in what was going to happen there. Exactly. That's crazy. That's a good one.
I like that one. Okay, we have one more here.
Yeah.
So this happened the week when my grandfather passed away. Oh, I love this one. This one was cool. This one's kind of funny.
Okay, good.
It's sad, but it's kind of funny. Yep. So this happened the week that my grandfather passed away. I was at my grandmother's house and they had a stocked bar. So she told us grandkids, take whatever booze you want. So I pulled out a fresh, unopened bottle of vodka, some whiskey, a couple other ones. Me and my grandmother looked at each other and I was like, this is what I'm taking. She said, okay, That's fine. So they put the bottles together at the end of the bar. They go upstairs. When it's time for her to take, I don't know if it's a guy or girl or who, or Yes, any of that. This one had no name. It had no nothing. I'm just going to say girl because I'm a girl.
Sure.
So we put the bottles together at the end of the bar. We go upstairs. When it's time for me to take my booze and the bottle of vodka, it all completely vanished. There was nobody there other than me and my grandmother in the house. We were so freaked out because she had been having so many paranormal activities since my grandfather passed away during the week. We looked everywhere and could not find it. We laughed, but deep down we were kind of freaking out. So anyways, the next day comes and I go back to my grandmother's. And lo and behold, the bottles are right there on the bar. We looked at each other and said loudly, guess he didn't want me to take the vodka. LOL, he probably wanted it to stay for my uncle who makes mean Caesars. So she
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's so he literally was like, no, you're not taking this booze.
Iconic ghost.
Like,
I love that. I thought it was gonna be empty. Maybe that would have been like that would have been even better.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But like, where'd they go? Like, where were they?
Right? Like a bunch of bottles. That's amazing. That's hilarious.
I know. That's a cool ghost story. I like fun ones like that. Like
right?
Genuine ones that like it's just kind of like your dimes. It's just like this verifying of like this
it's like
makes sense.
And yeah, totally. Yeah, never like scared when I find a dime or something. I'm just like, you sneaky little like I'm just like
no.
It's just it's so bizarre. It'll happen in the weirdest. Usually if somebody's doing something significant, like when I moved here, I cleared out my room, obviously, from the other house and brought it here. And I went back to go get the last pile of clothes. And there was a dime. Like, it could not have been more centered in the room. Like, if you measured it, it would have been centered. And I called my mom. I was like, look at this shit. And she's like,
it's a dime right here.
It's Grammy. And she's like, mm-hmm. It's just so weird. It's so crazy.
I love that. There's just so many amazing things. Oh, the video game was Layers of Fear. Adam found it for me. I played Layers of Fear. Have you played that?
It was cool. I have not.
So
Layers of Fear. Done.
Don't walk. If you do walk into the wall in the same place, you won't go through it. You can do it for you can do it for half an hour. So that's all I can tell you.
Right.
Right? No, I love scares. What's your favorite horror movies? I need some recommendations. The people need some recommendations.
Dude, I watch them every single night.
It's like I can't sleep unless
I watch them every night.
Right? Do you get scared anymore?
It's really fucked up.
It's really fucked up. If nobody like died or got like poltergeisted, I can't sleep.
Like, literally though, like I question myself sometimes. I think I just made an Instagram story last night. I was like, does anybody else like look through Netflix for like an hour or like at all the dramas and comedies and acclaimed movies, but then end up on like just the like stupidest, creepiest, like poorly rated horror movie. That's what I watch every night before I go to bed, or a scary YouTube video, a scary podcast.
Yep.
Like, and it doesn't affect me. I feel like I've become really desensitized because like since I was 5, I'd watch, like Dateline with my mom. Like she's just
same.
A psychopath.
Our lives are so the same. My mom would be like, "Do you right before bed? Would you like to watch like true crime or like daily murder?"
Like John Quinones, and he'd be like, "She got murdered," or like, "She got decapitated, and she was in the forest, and she also got lit on fire." And I'd be like, "Wow, that's really is that it?"
That's nice.
Like, it's awful.
No,
it's
it
so
is
awful. And yeah, for the longest time, I thought I wanted to be like a cop, detective, or something, and all this stuff.
That's why literally
I wasn't doing this.
That's the reason I went to college to be a cop and didn't you go to college for the same thing or something?
Mm-hmm. For criminology, and then I wanted to maybe start teaching, but it was for criminology to begin with.
It's
I was really interested in that stuff.
We were raised on murder.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to me.
Oh man, we are some weird bitches.
But I think it did me well because I am the most paranoid person when I'm out. Like I am so aware of my surroundings and so paranoid of people. I think it saved me in a few instances, like by far.
Amen. People hate when I do like my 3:30 a.m. Instagram stories because I'm always like, "What's up, 3 a.m. crew?" Because I'm walking around and people are like, "Please don't get murdered," and I'm like, I have everything mapped out. I know how to fight up. I come at me. At this point, I would murder them. They'd come get me, and I'd just be like, brrr.
Exactly. Yeah, no. I'm just, I know too many stories. Like I know all the car stories, like with the sex trade, like if something's on your windshield, like you don't get it. Like I just know too much stuff. And just from watching all of those horror movies, like what not to do.
Exactly.
And all this kind of stuff.
Never
and,
run upstairs.
Always scream. Even if they say don't scream, you fucking scream if you're outside or something. Like what's a little stab? You can
Yeah, right? I didn't have bedtime stories. My mom every night would tuck me in and she'd be like, and what do you do if someone comes in your window? And I'm like, yell. She's like, right. Even if they say don't yell, you yell. I'm like, okay, mom, night.
And then you pull your shank out of your pillowcase and you stab him right in the temple. Like, yes,
What
Mom,
is that
I know.
from? That was that from like Addams Family or something?
That was very...
That was
What?
really...
That was from nothing.
Oh my God, it's like so...
My fucking brain.
Oh my gosh. It sounded like... Okay, here's the thing. You sound like you're from the movies. I know you're going to be in the movies. Do you have any massive projects that you're working on right now?
I do, and you know. But
Are they secrets?
It's in the process because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm working on pitching my show to different networks. If it gets picked up, cool. If it doesn't, I'm going to make it happen on my own time.
Absolutely. Oh, it's going to happen. And it is going to be so big. And it is going to be so magical.
So excited.
People are always searching Chris out. Dude,
yeah.
I'm so excited for your life. Like, it is just... Like so many times, like we talk, Chris and I talk like every day. So like I spend so much time just sitting down and like thinking like, this is what my year looks like. Now let's think about Shane's year and Chris's year and Lord's year, and I just like think of where everyone's going. But like it's crazy, you know, this one app, how it's, you know, it brought us together. It's brought, you know, so many different things just forward for us. That's just like, we say it. But if you would have picture yourself 2 years ago, if you from now portaled back and said, hey, this is what, you know, unfortunately, it's been a really bad year for a lot of people, and I send my love out to all of them. But like, if you were to look where your life is now 2 years ago, what would you have said to you portaled back to tell you?
Like for advice?
No, like if they were like, this is going to be your life in 2021 and you're in like 2019. Yeah.
I would have just said, slapped him and been like, you're a terrible person for making me think I'll make it in this world. Because I was so low 2 years ago. Like I didn't think I'd be here. Like, and I know people say that a lot, but genuinely, like where I was pretty much like to the month 2 years ago, like I was probably like a month away from like not being here. So it's just so weird being here.
Yeah. TikTok came at this weird time. Like before TikTok, I started at the end of 2019, and I was at this place in my life. Like I was really sick, and I had been through just a lot of really weird things. And I remember just like sitting in the tub, and Adam coming home from work, and me just being like, I just don't want to. Like I just nothing. Like I just
right. I know, and then you find that thing that gives you like meaning and happiness, and which was this for both of us, and it's like it's just so crazy how like fast it went,
right? And like you can't, like, obviously we can't respond to all of them, but like I'm sure you're like me, like we dip into those message requests on Instagram, and I read these stories from people, and they're just like you got me through this time, and like and that is why, you know what I mean? That's why we do this.
Yeah, and like selfishly, I was doing it for myself at first. I didn't think it was impacting anybody else, like because I didn't see those like messages until they started coming.
You have moved mountains for people. Honestly, after we met, I got a text message from a girl from high school, and she was like, "Hey, it's blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, haven't heard from you in 10 years," and she just goes, "What's Chris smell like?" What does Chris smell like? And I was like, yeah, she smells good. I'm like, she smells good, like strawberries. And she was like, oh, fuck, I thought she would.
Sadness.
Coffee and sadness. What would I even smell like? Probably rubber farts and cotton candy. I don't know.
Tie-dye.
Adam's laughing. Yeah, tie-dye, farts, rubber.
Yeah, definitely. You don't smell like farts. But,
okay, good.
You're good at them.
Oh yeah, guys, I had a deep fried cheese. The night before Chris left, and I kept going to other places in the room to like hide or right out the door.
She lit up the hotel room.
No smells though.
Lit it up.
No smells.
No, honestly.
But it was so.
You have a gift.
I do have a gift.
It was.
And you know what? Every fart sounded the same. They were all the same. They were all so fucking loud. I go outside, and y'all know why I'm outside, and I'm just standing there.
Yeah. Out the window, like, it's happening.
It was like raining. Like, what are you doing outside in the rain in your socks? Farting.
Sparing you.
Staring at you. Oh, anyways,
It's fine.
Chris, I adore you. I have you. We both have Bo Burnham. We love Bo. That trip, anytime I listen to that song now, I just waver and think of our nights in Toronto.
It's so good. I listen to it every day.
I can't wait to see you again in real life. I'm going to see you in October. We're going to be at
Yes.
VidCon, guys. So make sure you go get your tickets for VidCon. Hopefully we can hug people by then. Everybody's vaccinated.
Yeah, I think
we can hug. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can, obviously everyone already knows who you are, but for the one person who doesn't, please tell us where we can find you.
Okay, it's Call Me Chris. Call is with a K. Call Me Chris, and Chris is with a K on TikTok. And then it's Call Me Chris on everything else except for Instagram, because some Call Me Chris mother frigger, took my name and refuses to give it to me. So it's Call Me Chris _4, because that's my favorite number. That's it.
I love that. Guys, follow Chris. She is up to crazy, amazing things in the world. She is making everybody smile on their darkest days, and it has been magical. Thank you for coming on this show, and I hope you come again. And guess what? Eventually, she's going to have her own podcast, and it is going to be mint, and it will be spicy.
And I'll have Selena on.
Oh, shit. I'm excited now. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Chris. This was the best time. And gosh, second episode of the new series. Holy balls! In we go, guys. All right, Chris, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that episode. I love having Chris on, and she is really one of the most wonderful people that I've ever met. I love making this podcast for you guys, and I hope that you are enjoying it. Please make sure to follow the page on Instagram, The Haunted Estate. Visit thehauntedestate.com if you have any tips, and if you want to make my world a better place, please rate and review the podcast, share it with your friends, and honestly, just keep being you, because you coming back here to me just is the best thing in the world. So stay spooky, Boo Crew. I love you.